everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be taking you through just a fun, strengthening flow. And I'll cover the entire body. You shouldn't need any props as usual, but if you do prefer to practice with blocks or straps or any props that may be useful to you in Shavasana, go ahead and grab those now. Take a moment to get settled, to roll out your mat. Maybe pause the video here for a moment if you need that time to set yourself up. And otherwise, when you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to begin in a closed-legged child's pose. So coming to about the center of our mats. And bringing the legs all the way together. And then slowly releasing the belly bowl to the thighs. The decision is yours here if you'd like to have the arms a little bit more engaged by reaching the fingertips out in front of you, or if you'd like to release the forehead to the mat and then slide the arms alongside the legs, you can do that as well. And for most of us, it feels automatic when you begin a practice to close the eyes. But maybe if that's not you, then go ahead and start to close the eyes now. Find some softness in the breath and the face. Let go of any tension in the belly and just allow the breath to move freely. Regardless of how the arms may be, release any tension in the fingers and the toes. And just allow the body to be. Whether you're practicing at the beginning, the middle, or the end of your day, maybe taking a moment to reflect either on the type of day you'd like to have, or maybe on the day you've already had. As we ground down in this posture, remembering that yoga is a practice of presence. So as we bring our thoughts and memories of the day, or maybe as we think about the future of our day, knowing that there's no stress, no need to worry about the past or the future, and just observing our thoughts and our memories of the day. If the arms are extended out in front of you, go ahead and start to bring the fingertips towards the back of the mat. And then clasping the hands together just above the tailbone, we'll start to lengthen through the arms. And then lift the fingers towards the ceiling or the tops of the hands, finding a shoulder stretch. Sending more of the weight into the legs here to support the neck. And then we'll gently release the arms, release the hands, and then tent the fingertips on the long sides of your mat, right about in line with the ears. We'll press into the tips of the fingers, start to flutter the eyes open, and lift the upper body. Almost coming to a variation of hero pose. On your next exhale, go ahead, start to release the forehead, bend at the elbows. And then inhale, we'll lift. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Maybe getting a little bit flowy with it. Last time, lower. Inhale, this time as you lift, engage the core. Slide the fingertips alongside the legs. And then bring the hands behind the toes or behind the back. Open the heart and chest, gaze lifts to the ceiling. A little bit more of a back bend here. I could stay on the tops of my feet all day long, but if this is too intense for you, you can always switch to an easy seat. Rooting through the tailbone. And we'll go ahead from here. Inhale, come back to hero pose. Reach the fingertips overhead and lengthen through the spine. On your next exhale, bring the hands just in front of the knees, press into the palms. Start to engage the core and the shoulders, and then see if you can lift the knees and shins. Bringing the tailbone towards the feet, and then stretching out the fronts of our ankles. Good, lower the knees down. Walk the palms underneath the shoulders. Take the knees hip distance apart, finding neutral tabletop. We'll take a few cat-cows here, drawing the belly towards the mat, lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze. And exhale for cat, bring the gaze between the thumbs, rounding the spine. Inhale for a back bend. Exhale to round. We'll do 2 more rounds of these. Inhale. Exhale. Last round, inhale. Exhale for cat. Now from here, we'll start to neutralize the spine, and as we do, curl the toes under. Inhale, lift the knees and shins. So we're in a flat back now, but we're engaging the legs. Hovering the knees about an inch, maybe an inch and a half off the mat. Channeling our breath, maybe sealing the lips here if you can. And go ahead, release the knees, uncurl the toes, walk the hands forward, and see if you can release the heart, the chest, and the chin for puppy pose or melting heart. Feeling that openness in the hips. Take 1 more round of breath. And slowly start to make your way back to neutral tabletop. The toes will curl under as we inhale, again taking that stronger move. We're going to hover over the mat. And this time we'll find some rocks forward and back. So we slowly in our yoga practice build from the very beginning, where we're centering in our breath, opening the shoulders, warming up the spine, engaging the core, firing up the legs. We'll go ahead and find stillness here. Hang on a little bit longer. Press into that space between the thumb and index finger. See if you can float the left foot off of the mat. Good, release the left foot down. Now inhale, lift the right. Right foot meets left, big breath in. As you exhale, draw the heels towards the mat, lift through the hips, downward facing dog. I've been gravitating towards more stillness here because I feel like my movements in down dog are not so intentional, but if that feels right for you, go ahead and find any wiggles here, any stretches, any movements in the hips. And then when you're ready, settle the breath and settle into the posture. Take the gaze towards your toes, energetically pulling the belly towards the thighs. Come high onto your toes, gaze comes to the hands, we'll bend at the knees. And then see if you can float forward, nice and slow. As we inhale from here, coming to a flat back, maybe tenting the fingers, maybe bringing hands to blocks or the hands to the shins. We move really quickly in most vinyasa practices through our forward folds. So while we're here, let's pay a little more attention by shifting the weight into the balls of the feet. Hips come over the heels, and then lengthening through the arms and the spine. Nice big inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Soft bend at the knees. Roll yourself up to mountain pose. From here, we'll inhale, take the palms together overhead. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hinge at your hips, fold forward. Again, bringing that attention to our fold. Inhale as you take a flat back, shift the weight forward. Exhale to fold, root through your palms. We'll step each of our feet back, finding high plank. Bring the chest even farther away from the mat here, pressing firmly into your palms. Tailbone and belly button up towards the ribs. Take one more inhale, and as you breathe out, we'll bend at the elbows, lower halfway down for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. You can uncurl the toes here, or you can keep them curled. It's really just a matter of preference. This transition to downward facing dog feels much better for me than if the toes were uncurled. From here, we'll lift the hips, draw the heels towards the mat. Taking downward facing dog. From here, come high onto your toes, bend the knees, float forward when you're ready. Inhale for flat back. Exhale to fold. Bend at the knees, roll up to stand. Palms touch overhead this time, the gaze follows. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, root through your palms. We'll step back into plank. This time, just like in the beginning of our practice, we're going to lift the left foot for a single leg plank. See if you can keep the weight distribution the same in the hands and that right foot. Left foot comes down. Go ahead and switch sides. Squeezing the right glute here, engaging the leg as well as the core. Exhale, release the right foot. Bend at the elbows as you exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale as you make your way to down dog. This time the right foot will stay where it is. Inhale as you lift the left. We can open the hip here, so we'll point the toes, not squaring off the left and the right hip. And then we'll come high onto the right toes, bend the left knee, find half wild thing. As you shift the hips, take the left knee towards the nose. Step forward, see if you can do so without peeling the hands off of your mat. We'll find a 45-degree angle with the right foot. So the heels are still in line here, but that right foot is flat. And then we'll inhale, bring the palms together as we lift for warrior one. Find the length through your arms and your spine. As you exhale here, release the hands, lower the heart and chest, clasp the hands behind the back or the tailbone, finding that shoulder stretch, and then lowering the upper body to the inside of the left leg. Staying steady with your breath here. Start to release the hands. As you frame the left foot, pivot the right toes, coming to runner's lunge, and then this time we'll inhale for crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the heart and chest. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press into the palms, the left foot will come back to meet right. Downward facing dog. Gaze comes to the toes. Inhale as you lift the heels, bend the knees, hop forward. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Palms touch overhead. As you exhale, this time we'll make our way to Utkatasana. Separate the hands, bend at the knees, sink the hips down. Chair pose. Keeping the feet rooted into the mat here, all 10 toes are planted down. We'll bring the hands to the heart and see if you can come onto the toes here. It's okay if you wobble, It's okay if you fall, as long as you don't get hurt and you get back up. We'll release the heels down, take a full breath in. As you exhale, release the fingertips and lengthen through the legs for forward fold. Root through your palms, step one foot back, and then the other. Will take our vinyasa here and meet in down dog. The left foot stays. We'll inhale as we lift the right leg, coming high onto the left toes, bending our right knee, finding half wild thing. Shift the hips, bring the right knee towards the nose. See if you can keep the hands planted down, and then release the right foot. 45-degree angle with the left foot, the heels are in line. We'll inhale as we press into the feet, lifting the upper body, hands touch overhead, warrior one. On our next exhale, release the hands, release the heart and chest towards the right thigh, clasp the hands behind the back for humble warrior. Finding a strength in the body and also a softness in the breath here. Start to release the hands. We'll frame that right foot. Come onto the ball of the left toes. And then inhale from runner's lunge, finding crescent lunge. This time cactusing the arms, opening the heart and chest. And then inhaling to squeeze the core, release the hands. Right foot comes back to meet left, downward facing dog. We'll take 2 rounds of breath here. When you're ready, coming high onto the toes, bending at the knees, gaze comes forward. Option here if you'd like, if you practice handstand, to go ahead and take that now. We're making our way to our forward fold at the top of our mats. Otherwise, you can just float forward. Inhale for flat back. Exhale to fold. Go ahead and lift the toes and the balls of the feet here. Slide the hands underneath. And then maybe find a soft bend at the knees, if that makes this posture a little more available to you. And maybe use the toes to give the palms and the wrists a little bit of a massage. Slow down the breath. Allow the weight of gravity in this posture to let go of the tension in your face. And then slowly start to bring the fingertips back to the mat. We'll inhale for flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Bend at the knees. Inhale, come to stand, palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hinging at our hips, we'll fold forward. We'll go ahead and step back to plank, taking a moment to clean it up, drawing the tailbone up towards the ribs, pushing the chest even farther away from the mat, and then taking our vinyasa. As we meet in downward facing dog, we'll root through the right foot, lifting the left, opening the hips, lifting that left leg as high as we can, drawing the right heel down. And then we'll drive the left knee towards the nose and come to step forward for runner's lunge. From here, we'll walk the right hand towards the right long side of our mats. Reach the left hand out in front of you. And then see if you can step the right foot or the right leg between the left hand and the left foot, and the right hand. So we'll go ahead, really engage that left leg, press into the right palm, step your right foot forward and through. And then when you're ready, step back. Do that 2 more times. Step through, come back. Last time, step through. And then send the right foot back. From here, release the left hand down. Start to send the weight into your left foot. We're making our way to Warrior 3 prep. Fingertips are tented, lifting the right toes. And then coming to standing half moon from here, we'll keep the left fingertips on either blocks or tented off the ground. Stack the right hip on top of left. And work on reaching the right fingertips overhead. If you really want to challenge the balance, see if you can bring the gaze to the right hand. If you fall out of it, it's okay, just try again. Or meet us in forward fold. Whatever feels right for your practice. We'll start to release the right fingertips and then the right foot. Taking a nice deep fold at the front of our mats. As we inhale from here, we'll all take our hands to our shins, lengthening through the arms and the back. And then exhaling as we fold. Inhale. As you bend into the knees, roll the vertebrae one at a time. Come to stand, the palms touch overhead. And then exhale, the hands will come to the heart. Fold forward, press into the palms, step back to plank. 2 options here. You can either move right to downward facing dog or take a final vinyasa. This time, rooting through the left foot, we'll inhale and lift the right. Making the legs long, opening the hips, drawing the left heel down. Start to bring the right knee towards the nose, and then step the right foot down. From here, tenting the right fingertips, bringing that left hand a little bit closer to the long left side of the mat. And then when you're ready, pressing into the right foot, sending the left foot forward. As you do, reaching the right fingertips forward as well. Go ahead and step back. You can keep this right arm extended if that feels right for you, or you can always meet back down on the mat. We'll do this 2 more times. Come forward. And back. Last time forward, hold it here, and step back. Right hand comes down as well as the left. We'll tent the fingertips, making our way to Warrior 3. And then leaving the right hand on the ground, we'll stack left hip on top of right, coming to our standing half moon. A little bit more wobbly on this side. Seeing if you can work the gaze towards the left fingertips. Keeping the left heel at left hip height. And then when you're ready, coming back down to forward fold. We'll take a nice, deep and slow last fold of our practice. So maybe bending at the knees, releasing the belly and the chest, taking the arms behind the legs. And then taking a moment here to reflect on how present you were throughout your practice. And knowing that it's okay if the thoughts have wandered. It's totally okay and normal if you felt it was challenging to stay present, especially while doing some challenging postures and focusing on the breath. And start to release the hands. Find a flat back. And then engage the core, the abdominals as well as the lower back. Start to reach the fingertips out in front of you. And bend into the knees, drawing the tailbone towards the back of the mat. Whole body is at work here. We're not resting the belly on the thighs. So the core is engaged, the shoulders are engaged, the backside body, the glutes, the quads. Slowly start to lower the sit bones towards the heels. Once you make your way there, see if you can come to a seat without using the hands. And then immediately lowering the upper body, releasing the arms, and sending the feet towards the ceiling for Viparita Karani or waterfall pose. Taking a moment here to acknowledge the contrast between this posture, where we alleviate and release some of the stress that we put on the feet, the ankles, and the legs. And then how the body feels when we're standing, when we're practicing. Option to make your way into plow pose from here, or you can stay in waterfall. You could also take half Shavasana, lowering the soles of the feet. Otherwise, I'll guide you to plow pose. So we're going to use the core here to lift the toes towards the ceiling. As we peel the lower back off of the mat, we'll place the hands at the lower spine, keeping the triceps and the elbows glued into the mat. Lengthening as much as we can through the legs and the spine here. And then as we keep the legs together, flex the feet. Start to hinge at the hips. Maybe drawing the toes to the ground or the mat overhead. The hands can stay at the base of the spine here. Or you could even take Kali Mudra with the hands. Wherever you are in the final moments of this practice, make those moments just for you, for your peace of mind, for your happiness, your health. As we slowly come out of plow pose, we'll all meet in half Shavasana with the soles of the feet rooted into the mat. It feels right here for you. Reach the arms overhead. Take a nice stretch through the back and the spine. And then we'll cactus the arms on the ground. And just find windshield wiper movements with the legs and the hips. As we come to the close of our practice, acknowledging that this time is for you. So if you need a longer Shavasana, if you want to pause the video and turn off the lights or light some candles, go ahead and make this time really special for yourself. You deserve it. Find stillness with the legs, send the feet to the bottom of the mat. Letting the legs be heavy first, releasing any tension. And we'll take the right hand over the belly, the left hand over the heart, and start to close the eyes. It was a pleasure to practice with all of you this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you've decided to turn this class on. Thank you for joining me and for supporting this virtual space. And please, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Namaste.